and I, we will join regularly. So what we do before we have you read your essay or speech, we are going to pay our respect to our Supreme Teacher. So please fold your hands together as I recite this Gatha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. That means I pay homage to him, the blessed one, the worthy one, the fully enlightened one. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And we will review our 5 precepts today. So, can one of you tell me what is the first precept that we follow as a lay Buddhist people? Okay, so the first precept is Panati Pata Veramani Sikhapadang Samadhyami. And that means no harming or killing any living beings. What is our second precept? Adinnadana Veramani Sikhapadang Samadhyami. That means we are not going to take what is not given to us. Third precept, does Arohi know this?
No sexual misconducts.
Yeah. How do we recite it in Pali? So it says, Kamesu Michachara Veramani Sikhapadang Samadhyami. So it means we abstain from sexual misconduct. That means when you are, in society, we are all social beings, right? So we are around people. So we have to be very respectful to people and treat them with dignity. Okay. So that is our third precept. So fourth precept is, go ahead, Aroi. It's just you and me.
No steal, no lying.
No lying. Very good, beta. So we recite this precept in Pali this way. Musa vada veramani sikhapadang samadhiyami. So that means we are going to control our speech. It means no lying and also means not using harsh words. Okay, so all the speech that we use in daily lives, we have to watch our speech. What kind of words we are using, what kind of tone we are using in our speech. That's our fourth precept. And last precept is very important for all of us, not just you kids, but all the grown up aunts, uncles, even me. We all are, we have to be careful about this precept. And that precept is Sura, Meraya, Majja, Pamadatana, Veramani, Sikhapadang, Samadhyami. So that means, this precept means what?
No intoxicants or drugs.
All right, very good. So, what are these precepts? These precepts are uh, the these are the foundations we follow as a lay Buddhist people. And what do these precepts are? These are good habits. Okay, we develop these habits, and then once we start doing them, they become automatic to us. Just like when we start playing a football, we practice it, and one day we become very good at it. So same thing, these are the mental faculties that we have to improve. So when we start paying attention, these habits we start cultivating, and these become very good and strong, and they come to us when we are in a situation where we have to make a split decision. And when we are in that situation, we know what is the right action. Okay, so these precepts will help us make a right decision at the right time. So these precepts are very important, and as a lay Buddhist people, we should follow these. And what is the teachings of our Buddha? Okay, what is the teaching? We recite it in our Vandana. We recite it like Sabba Papassa Akaranam Kusalassa Upasampada Sachitta Pariyodapanang Etang Buddhanang Sasanang. So what does these lines mean? These lines mean always do wholesome deeds. Stay away from unwholesome deeds and purify your mind. So these lines in our Vandana teach us to always make right choices, always do wholesome deeds, okay, and stay away from bad deeds. So that's the understanding we have to develop, and that's how we operate in this world. Okay, so that is the meaning of our Vandana. If you have any questions on this, you can ask me, or we can move on to the Vedish speech. Any questions, Vedish? And okay, so no questions. I will ask you to read your speech now.
Thank you. Namo Buddhaya, Jai Bhim. I'm Vaidesh Chavan. I would like to thanks the Anna group for giving me an opportunity to
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah, we can hear.
Namo Buddhaya, Jai Bhim. I'm Vaidesh Chavan. I would like to thanks to the Anna group for giving me an opportunity to present my learnings and thoughts about Buddha. Today, let's remember the teachings and values of Buddha. The core of Buddhism is based on life and its values. Buddha says that life is like a river which just flows and dries out one day. The values can be summarized in three principles. First, to avoid evil. Second, doing good. Third, purify the mind. The good example is depicted in the Tibetan Buddhist temples called the Wheel of Life. The outer wheel depicts the 12 links or the chain. There are three animals in the center, a pig, rooster, and a snake, which resembles greed, lust, and obsession. In many paintings, the rooster and the snake is coming out of the pig's mouth. That indicates that all these three mindsets comes out of ignorance in existence. Ignorance is the root cause of all these three mindsets. It is also called the three fires. Buddha also says that life is suffering and an illusion, that it is about truth and acceptance of truth. He has always taught about the Four Noble Truths that explains that truth is the way of suffering, dukkha. The Four Noble Truths are truth of suffering, cause of suffering, end of suffering, path for the end of suffering. Let's talk about connections. Buddha also teaches about connections. Example, imagine if you accidentally tore your favorite shirt. So the expected reaction would be sadness. It can happen on large scales. So that is why you should not make connections, because connections equals bond equals destruction if happened so, and destruction equals suffering. So I hope you like my lesson on Buddha. Thank you for having me and giving me an opportunity to speak about something I like and love to share with you all.
Okay, very nice speech, Vedish. And any So we all are invited to comment or give your recommendations on the speech. I like the fact that you talked about Arya Satyas, all the, the four noble truths. And I also like the cause of suffering. That is, you talked about avidya is a cause of suffering. So you put out a lot of good points there. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So we all understand there are uh, four noble truths, right? And Videsh talked about that in his speech. Any questions on that? There is a suffering, there is a cause of suffering, right? And also there is a way out of suffering, and there is a path, right? The Lord Buddha has given us 8 noble fold path, and that is also called middle path. And there are 8 factors that focuses on, and someone walks on that path, it is always that leads to the nibbana. So this speech is very lot of interesting points there. So it sums up a lot of points for us. Anybody likes to elaborate on any of these things that Vedish talked about?